everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker Podcast. I'm Larry Moose Lundstrom.
And I'm Adam Vokey.
And we are back in the bowels of the Emporium, Mr. Vokey.
The Brush Emporium.
Yeah, we wore the same clothes as last week.
Yeah, well, it was laundry day.
Yeah, it was laundry day. That's right, goddammit. We're at Bullhucker Studios, bottom of the Emporium. We're going to get to the Emporium a little bit later today, but thank you to them for letting us have this podcast studio down here. We will... We're going to kiss their ass later, though, Vokey.
We will.
We are having the headliner for tonight's show.
Yeah.
We had the feature last week. He did an awesome job, Travis Tate.
I can't remember what his name is.
You know what? I wish I'd have went with that. Just to poke at him because he's sitting right here. That's it. That's right.
What was it? Something.
He saved Joey Coco's life, man. You'd think we'd remember that shit, but you know.
A hero like that. But.
Son of a bitch, we're monsters, you know. Monsters. But we have the headliner today, Todd Johnson. What's up, you wonderful son of a bitch?
Not too much.
No?
No, because I only work an hour at nights on the weekends, so I don't really have a whole lot of other shit going on.
There's nothing wrong with that, bro. Thank you for coming down from Idaho, man.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I always like coming back to Colorado. I lived here for a little while.
Yeah.
Then I found out I couldn't.
You weren't Colorado friendly?
No, I was friendly, but they weren't.
Okay.
I was living over closer to Boulder, and they went, "You need to leave." And I went, "Oh, sure."
Agreed.
Yeah. If I have to deal with you people over there.
No, that's cool. I'm excited for tonight's show. I've seen you before, but I'm excited for Travis. I really want to.
Yeah, no, Travis does a great job. And,
yeah.
You know, if you watched his thing, which you should, he is a lot funnier. Like when you first start out, and you guys know this, when you first start out, you go, I hope I'm funny.
Yeah.
And some people go, no, I'm funny.
Yeah.
And we go, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You know, but I've watched him from when he first started to now, and he's a lot of fun. Everything's just kind of meshed together, and so yeah,
it's a great room.
Really
and
good.
We just got the call. We just sold the last ticket, so it's a sold out show. So
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's easy to do here. It's they love comedy in this area. So and it's because of guys like you that have been down over and over again. You know. Yeah, no,
I think it was your mom that made a comment on Facebook and which was very nice. It's like, hey, this guy's been he's. I can't remember what she said.
She said he's worth the show. He's worth the ticket. So
that's
comic worth watching.
That's what I meant to say.
She better she better mean for comedy because
right
to stab Todd. I'm not above it. So, you know, I know what she's trying to say, but
that's right.
Kind of dirty shit. So before we go any further ado, I do want to say, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the Bullhucker Podcast. What we do today is we bring on a guest. Today's Todd Johnson, the Todd Johnson. And Todd's going to tell us 3 stories about his life. Now, here's the kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's actually either borrowed, made up, or partly made up, partly true. We don't ask which one, Adam, because we've gotten ballsy. But we got Travis last week. We're going to talk shit because it doesn't happen very often when we both win.
Right.
And Travis is sitting here, so we're rubbing it in pretty bad. You know, it's talking a little shitty shit. But and at the end of the podcast, Adam and I try and guess which one is actually not Todd's story. If you want to have fun, on the description below, make your guess what you thought it was. Maybe you'll get it right. Yeah, Susan Koster does it all the time. That's and she'll be there tonight. Susan's fun. Yeah,
I'd like to know what Susan's win percentage is.
You know what? I bet she's posted on every YouTube she's posted. So I mean, we could probably go back and do her totals, but then I'd feel bad if she's as bad as we are, because then we'd have to rub it in her
I would
face.
feel bad if she's better than we are.
Yeah.
Because then I might be out of a job.
Yeah, Susan, I've had to let Adam go from the free job. So anyway.
Before we start, I want to do a shout out to David Salazar. He's from Houston, Texas.
What's up, David?
He works for Big Johnson. He told me when I saw him in Kansas this week, he told me he's been watching the podcast. So
that's cool.
So yeah, he's 19 years old, young kid.
Nice.
So thanks for watching, David.
Yeah, right. You're on, awesome, David Salazar. You know what? You can come on the podcast, David. How about that? I whore it out all the time. It's all good.
Oh, he would too. He would too. David's fucking awesome.
Well, David,
he makes me laugh.
Bring your ass to Morgan County and it'll be game on, right? Game on. So, Todd, we're going to start off right away. You ready to tell some stories, brother?
Sure.
All right.
I always got some story.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, Adam, you want to read them off, buddy?
Yeah, we got Jump in a Van, Robin Williams, and Bear Bitten.
Bear Bitten?
Bear Bitten.
Bear Bitten.
Like bit by a bear.
Oh, bitten. Okay, Bear Bitten. I got you. I was like betting. I was like, I don't know what that means. Okay. You want to pick or am I picking?
You're picking. I picked first last time.
All right. Jumping a Van, Robin Williams, and Bear Bitten. I already know which one I want to hear last, but so let's go. Let's do Bear Bitten first.
Okay. So I was actually traveling up in Montana with another comic, and I've got family that's up in Montana. I grew up hunting and fishing and stuff like that. I'm from Idaho, which is I'm actually from Preston, where they did that Napoleon Dynamite movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
I was over here living when they put that thing together. Get that away from me, because otherwise people are going to go, I wish he'd put that damn pen down.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had people ask me, how come you weren't in that movie? I'm like, because I had self-esteem.
Yeah, and, thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And you either love it or you hate it, but I know down in L.A., it's such a, I can't remember the word that they use, but they've got stickers all over it, and these guys on movies will just quote it constantly, and I'm like, you know what we do in Preston? Hope to forget it.
Cult classic.
It's a
cult
It
classic.
is a cult. That's yeah.
It's like the movie Fargo for Fargo.
Correct.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
hate it. Yeah.
I've never seen either one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not missing out.
Well, my mom bought it for me for Christmas, and then when we got done watching it, I went, they made this much money on that piece of shit?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But I know people in there, and then anyway, it's just, so I'm glad that's over. Anyway, I go out and do a bunch of comedy. I'm with another comic. I'm in Montana. I've got a cousin that lives up there that hunts and fishes, and when we stopped by to see him, he goes, just to let you know, because he was just outside of Big Timber, and he goes, just to let you know, I do have a bear that's coming down into the yard. And I went, why do you have a bear coming down in the yard? Well, first off, he lives 20 miles from Big Timber. Second, after what I know, looking at all the trees and everything, they would come down and eat his. He had ducks and turkeys and everything else, right? So they were constantly getting in there. We pull into the driveway, and that bear is standing right. He's in one of those old farmhouses where you have the house and a breezeway, and then the garage, and it's standing right there in the middle of it. And I was like, you weren't kidding, were you? He goes, nope, just sit right here. Now, he has a bear tag, so it's fine. But the fact is, he's already told his wife a couple times, be careful when you go out in the morning to feed all the animals. I don't want to come home and have you eaten, right? You know, because, I mean, I didn't realize, it's been quiet for 2 weeks, but, you know, he didn't want that to happen.
I didn't want to have to pick you out of the bear shit,
right?
You know.
I didn't know where she was at. It's been quiet.
Is that her finger?
Right?
Yeah, that's a finger.
Yes. Well, we won't have to worry about that pointing at me anymore.
Well, 5 more and she can do dishes again.
Right? Yeah. So anyway, he goes, hold still. And he's got his rifle with him because he's been nervous about it. And the thing stands up and he drills it right in the chest. And it does. It just goes. And I've been around hunting and everything. This scared the shit out of me. I could hear, as soon as he hit that thing, he went, whoa, and I was sitting in the car, and I went, whoa, and he slammed the door, because we figured, well, we're in his car. The thing drops, gets back up, runs around the side of the house, and I was like, well, you go get it. He goes, no, I ain't going to go, and the thing came out on the other side of the house. It's not a very big house. Come around this side, and he stepped out of the car, and he grabbed the gun, and leaned over and hit that thing again, and it rolled, and it must have been adrenaline. I have no clue. All I know is I heard that roar again, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, yeah.
So he gets back in the car. Thing runs. Say for instance, this is the house. Runs back around, and then steps back out again. I'm like, this. He's not a bad shot, and that thing is just standing there looking at him again, and he steps out and he shoots it, and the thing drops. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting out. No, you go let me know when
Yogi's
and he goes,
dead.
yeah, he goes, I'm going to sit here first. So we sat there for about 5 minutes. And I've always seen people throw stuff at like animals when they're dead to make sure that they're not going to get up and do whatever else. So he was throwing rocks from a long ways away.
I'd still be throwing bullets.
I'm still sitting in the car. And he goes, no, dude, it's dead. Here, come over and see it. This thing's huge. And I'm like, dude, I do not want to go over.
Is it a grizzly? Is it a
no,
black
it's a black bear.
Okay,
but right. It's a huge. Like by the time we were done with this, it was one of the biggest black bears I've ever seen. Anyway, he goes over there and he's poking it with a stick and it's not moving, and I'm like, okay, it's dead. And he goes, here, help me roll this thing over. And I don't want to touch it. Can you just here have your wife help, right? I'm like, dude. He goes, just grab it. And I grabbed hold of the front paw, and I moved it, and it was fine. And then I turned, and that thing its head came up at me, and I just seen it out of the, and then I felt this pain, and that thing had bit me. If you look, can you see that right there? I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
So like if you look at the different, I know I used to be in the gym, but not anymore. So it's a regular.
Right.
But he actually bit me, and separated my. I should go get it fixed, but I don't have insurance. Right, and they won't take my car insurance. State Farm won't help.
Bastards.
But if you look, I don't know if you can see it. If you look, can you see?
I can kind of see it.
yeah.
So there's this, and then I have 2 bite marks right underneath.
Yeah.
Ah! Nothing. I don't have
That
the bite
scared
marks.
me. Fuck you, Todd. It's all fun and games till I die.
Yeah, I don't want to be the.
You poke me with this thing, and I get up and I bite you.
Anyway, so I have that right there, and I didn't help him finish. So
I wouldn't have either.
anyway,
It didn't latch on and keep.
no, it bit, and then it was just like a reflex.
Oh,
But it was enough of a reflex to tear my deal right there. So
damn.
anyway, but I'm glad I got one of you with the scare.
Because that was all like.
You didn't even like kind of move.
His reactions are slower than mine. He'll jump.
I'm gonna jump
He'll jump in the
5
next
minutes.
story.
2 minutes out of the blue. I'll be like, God, damn, you good?
But I kind of do the same thing. I'm like, nah, it didn't get me. But inside, I'm like, geez,
Yeah.
I got a twitch I'll never get rid of for a while.
So, do you have any idea what kind of gun he was using?
It was a 30-06.
It's a 30. Damn.
But it was just, I mean, he hit it dead. But it, you know how sometimes they'll just go off and do that little death moan. And,
Right.
But this one had enough adrenaline in it, and it just kept going and going. And
You did shoot him.
yeah, oh yeah,
I'd bite your ass too, just so we're clear.
right, exactly. So
I'm thinking the bear's just playing possum. Like, he's just taking those hits with the rocks. Like, come closer, you motherfucker. Come closer, you know?
right,
I'll bite you and take that 30-yard stick and shove you off the side of a mountain.
right.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, you might roll all the way to the bottom.
Well, I've heard they can take a beating. So,
That's funny.
Anyway,
What do you think about that one, Vogt?
that's pretty cool. That
like
would scared the shit out of me, too.
Holy
shit.
It was 2 minutes. You were right.
Let's do it too.
I said that would have scared the shit out of me.
I thought you meant now.
No. But yeah. I can just imagine like that roar, just like rattling the whole
Oh
car.
man, it just it's
How big was it, you think, poundage?
it was pushing 6.
No shit.
It was a big bear. Like I've seen a couple other bears that my buddy has got when he's guided, and you know they go by the skull. So what they'll do is measure from the bump here and here, and then like if you did it on your dog, it'd be where the 2 bumps here, and then they've got that where they say, "Oh, this is where the smartest." He's got a big bump there. I'm like, he ran into the wall. You know? Yeah. And then they go from here to there, and then they add them together. And so if you have a bear skull that's like 20, I mean, that's a good sized bear. You get a 21, you're really into some big bears.
Wow.
And I've seen bigger than that. But my buddy wouldn't turn him in because then he has to tell where.
Where he shot him.
Yeah.
In
He
the
didn't
chest.
want everybody else
I
to
shot
come
him in
up.
the chest and the head. That's where I shot him.
Why did you shoot him? He was like this the whole time. In front of the headlights.
Officer, I'll tell you what, I shot him in the arm, but to be honest, I was aiming for Todd, so that shouldn't count, right?
Right.
We should be all groovy still.
We had a teacher back in school that was junior high, and he used to tell everybody, he'd tell the kids, he goes, I shot a moose one time with a BB gun and killed it. And they're
Okay.
like, come on, really? He goes, yeah, he was standing in the water. He leaned down to take a drink. I shot him in the nuts, and he drowned. He told that every year.
Nice.
That's funny.
You were talking about Napoleon Dynamite being recorded in that
Right.
town. Do you know there was a movie recorded in Morgan County?
No.
Dumb and Dumber was recorded here.
Was it really?
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey, yes, it was. Back in 92 or 93,
I'm
whenever
going
they
to have to
were
go back and
recording.
look and see. Can you smell the...
Yeah, you can smell. Yeah, you can smell Fort Morgan in it.
Yeah.
There was actually the big scene was where Kick His Ass Seabass.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
right.
diner.
When you're driving back on 76, it's a Riata now, a gas station. They tore it down and rebuilt it. My mom came home one day. It was 94 when she came home, so I was a senior in high school. Mom's like, I seen a van today, and it had fur on it like a dog. I thought, is Mom getting high? What's going on? Like,
Right.
Okay, Mom. She's like, no, it had like ears, and she was describing that and obviously
the Muttley Mobile.
Oh, wow.
the movie hadn't been out yet, so we had no clue what she was talking about. Then when it came out, she's like, you're not crazy, Mom. Good. That's good. Saw Jim Carrey outside of the drive-in theater smoking a cigarette. Yeah, but he wasn't Jim Carrey then. He was, but he wasn't what he is now.
He wasn't the Jim Carrey we know now.
Yeah. So, and then my mom's boyfriend, where they're drinking the piss and they give it to the officer, his house is like literally 2 more miles to the left.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. Guy grew up with Chris Jackson sitting behind him. Kick his ass, Seabass. And Chris is probably high as shit in that movie, but he's sitting there just drinking his coffee, staring at the wall. It's great acting, Chris. But yeah, it was that was filmed here.
That's crazy.
Oh, and The Mule was also filmed here.
Yep.
Oh, really?
With Clint Eastwood, yeah.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, there's a few dairies down on Road 21. Those are the dairies he drives by.
Okay.
So yeah,
I didn't realize those dairies were
Badger Creek Dairies, the one he drives by. Yeah. So yeah, pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. So we tell everybody that Dumb and Dumber was filmed here, and they're like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Mom worked at a savings and loan for 40 years, so she names like all kinds of people out of the movie. She just picks them out. You know what I mean? Like
right.
She knows him. So pretty cool. What do you think about that story, Voke?
Like I said, that would have scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
I liked it, but I'm gonna have nightmares now.
I'm like Todd, man. Like I don't come close to that thing if it's on the ground.
No,
it's a bear. You know what I mean? For all I know, you just pissed it off.
That's right.
What's that bit that Norton has? Jim Norton has about bear spray, the mace.
Oh yeah.
How you no?
I don't think I've heard it.
They make bear mace, and he's basically, I'm gonna fuck it up, but he's talking about how ridiculous it is. You're gonna take this animal who wants honey, sticks its face inside of a beehive when they're stinging it in the eyes and stinging it in the nose, and all it can say is honey, and you're gonna mace that fucking thing. What a great point, No,
you're right.
That's what you gotta love about stand-up comics, bro. They just look at the world differently.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, because a lot of people will say certain things, and I go, that's not the first thing that came out of my head.
Yeah,
because it's just askew. It's just a little bit off.
You're wired different.
Yeah. That is the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
Because you're just wired different. I have people that say, where did you come up with it? I don't know.
Just came out
Matter
of
fact, a lot of times it goes out of my head before it checked in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a few times at work I've been talking to my boss and telling him about what's going on the job site or something, or some little confrontation I got in with the on-site safety guy or whatever.
Right.
And I was telling him this one story. He looks at me and goes, so the story was this guy, we were at a gas plant.
Okay.
And we had to get a hot work permit to work inside the chain link fence at the gas plant. But we could go right on the other side of the chain link fence, and we didn't need a hot work permit. So the safety guy for this plant, he was throwing this big fit that we didn't have fire watch training or something turned in. So he goes, I'm just going to have to make you guys work outside the fence. And I go, so is that chain link fence that don't let gas through it? I mean, what's 5 feet going to do? And I was telling my boss about this. He goes, where do you come up with this shit? I'm like, I don't know. It just, like you said, it comes out before it checks in, man. It doesn't get processed. It's just out there.
The guys people at work started to hate Facebook. Everybody bitches about Facebook, but nobody leaves Facebook. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I told them, you should see my Facebook feed, because it's all comics on there. There's a ton of comics on there. And I said, some of the shit some of these guys come up with, man. I mean, there's days on Facebook or even TikTok, any of them, with all the comics I know, I laugh my ass off, Todd, at some of the shit they come up with. And part of me gets mad, how come I didn't think of that?
Yeah.
Such an obvious joke, some of them, so obvious. You're like, God, that's brilliant.
I thought it would be really, I mean, I say this here, but I would never do it, where you just take the jokes from certain comics that are just awesome jokes and do a whole deal. But they call that being a thief.
Yeah.
And it's like, that guy did a fantastic set. Yeah. He didn't credit anybody. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like TikTok, people lip syncing shit and they get all these views. It makes me crazy. But and I think sometimes comics, when they do the show, comics I don't know, I think they get offended. Because when I say this, it's a genuine compliment when I tell them that, I really enjoyed this. That's very clever, man. Very clever. You know? I laughed when they said it, but I respect the fact how it was written.
Right.
I loved to watching them perform a joke that's written really well, man.
Right.
And I'm like, man, that was you nailed it.
It's very impressive when somebody can actually put things together where you just You
Yeah.
paint that picture in your head,
Right.
and now you've made everybody paint that picture in their head,
Right.
Right.
amazingly.
But do you see what I'm saying, Todd?
Oh,
Like,
yes.
you being a comic, I'm not a comedian. I just book shows now. I don't,
Right.
you know. But you being a comic, aren't you just ever impressed at a joke you don't laugh out loud at? Or Travis, do you do this?
Oh, yeah.
You just appreciate that joke. You're like, man, fucking that is clever as
And
shit.
there is
man."
times that I even go, damn it. I wish that was my joke.
That's what I was just going to say. You get a little pissed off that you
Yeah,
didn't think of it
because-
first.
Yeah.
And this has been a long time ago, but we got a friend of ours, Chad Daniels.
What's up,
When-
Chad?
When I told him about this, he goes, "You like that joke?" Yeah, my buddy wrote that for Larry the Cable Guy. So Larry had a joke. He goes, "My sister's so ugly. She has marks on her where people have been poking her with a 10-foot pole."
Yeah,
Right?
I remember
First
that.
time I ever heard that, I went, "Damn it. Damn it." All he did was just take that joke and switch it upside down. Well, I was talking to Chad a couple of years ago, and he goes, "You like that joke?" I'll tell my buddy you liked it, and he wrote it for him. I'm like, "Well, damn it twice. Damn it."
Yeah.
The horse shit.
Damn it, twice. All right. That was Bear Bitten. No, Adam, your pick. Sorry.
I'm picking.
Jump in a Van or Robin Williams?
I'm going to go with Jump in a Van
Thank
Okay.
you.
because I'm the same way. I want to hear that other one last. So
Right?
Jump in a Van.
So when I was, I think I was a senior, I had a buddy of mine that was a junior, and we were working for his dad who owned it's like a water park, and a whole bunch of slave labor going on. And we would go into town, and again, my town's, I tell people ask me, they say, "Do you have one stoplight?" I says, "We have two, but we have to wait for the electrician to come back. He's never been on a cruise, took his whole family. He's got to come back, and he's got to hook that up." And they go, "Really?" And I said, "No." But we do have two stoplights in our. So this has been years ago, and me and my buddy, we'd come into town and go grab something to eat. Got to go back out and work. And we're in his dad's van. It's one of those ones that's got the captain's chairs, and it's all decked out on the inside. And we went down to 4th West and turned, and there was a canal that had a bridge. And he just goes, "Du-du-du-du-du-du. I think we can jump this." I'm like, no. Because I was always the guy that, like, look, I want to know about funny stuff, but I don't want to be in the middle of it and then I'm in the hospital, right?
Yes.
And so every time we'd go to town, he'd just go, "Du-du-du-du-du-du-du." A little bit faster. And I'm like, "I don't think we can do this." He goes, "I think we can do this." Well, a couple weeks later, his girlfriend lived just right around the corner. He stops, picks her up. We're both sitting in seats. She's kneeling down between us, and she starts going, "What are we doing, guys?" And he looked at me and goes, and I went, "Oh, shit." And I pulled that seatbelt down, and I cranked that as tight as possible. And he goes, and he put his seatbelt on, turned, and we're headed. He goes, "You ready?" And she goes, "What are we doing?" And she was really kind of dingy.
Yeah.
And he hammered on that thing, and I went, "You gotta be shitting me." Well, today's the day I die, I guess. And we hit that bridge, and all four, like, you could have walked underneath that truck or that van.
Right.
And I remember looking out going, "Oh, fuck, crying out loud." And when we landed, we're bouncing, and that seatbelt is about choking me to death.
Yeah.
And I happened to flip my head around like this to see her head and neck pressed up against the ceiling, right? So when we landed, he had the whereabouts to know, okay, we got a field coming up. And I mean, it's real close to like what you guys have here. And it's just, he locked it up right before we went into the field. And the first thing I heard was, "My neck hurts." I'll bet it does. This seatbelt hurts is what it does. It's cutting off all the circulation in my nuts. So, and then I ran into one of our other friends, a few years ago, and we got telling stories. And then he goes, "One time I was with Mike, and there was 4 of us, and we jumped the van." "Oh, you jumped the van?" over the and he goes, yeah, dude, scared the hell out of me. I'm like, I was the first one to do it with him and his wife now.
Yeah.
And I think his wife has problems with her neck.
I thought that story was going to end up where she was on the ground, and so Todd starts throwing rocks at her and poking her.
She ended up biting me.
Help me flip this bitch over.
Right.
Go get your wife to help you flip this bitch over.
Yeah, the scars on his arms from her, not the bear.
She latched onto me. What do you think on that one, man?
That was great, man.
Yeah. All right. I have some suspicions about that story, but okay.
I don't know. Like the whole a little bit faster.
Oh.
There was a few spots when I was growing up that I was doing that. I had a little Ford Ranger.
Right.
It's like we can go a little quicker, a little faster, just slowly pushing it. And
then one day,
Yep. Then one day you're like,
somebody just hammered
fuck
it.
it, bro. Let's try it.
Yeah. You're like, you got money to pay for broke parts? Because it might happen.
Matt Borkwin. What's up, Matty? He had an old Falcon, like a 1942 Falcon. I think it was made of metal, man. This thing was, and they do what they call corn jumping, right? So they put a ramp up by a cornfield and see how many rows they could clear, right? This is what they would do. And,
wow.
Yeah, and then they were like, you want to join us? I go, no, motherfucker. No.
I'll film it.
I'm
Watch
sorry.
it.
Let me do a little physics test for you idiots. You're trying to get airborne, but you want to put me in the car.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
You want to double the weight of the car by putting me in there.
We're going to have you sit in the back so it clears more. Right?
We will hope you sit in the back so we don't go forward. We, pop a wheelie, But they would do this shit and laugh like idiots. They were all 16, 17.
Oh, yeah.
When you're invincible, dude. Invincible, right?
Yeah.
And they would do it and laugh. I'd sit there. I was like 18 or 19 at the time. I was older than them, just shaking my head with my beer, just like, you guys are fucking idiots,
Right.
Just deaf, man. So
it's crazy what you do when you're 16, 17, 18 and go, I'm invincible.
Right.
And then now you start going, my knee hurts.
yeah,
My back hurts.
right.
Like I had back surgery 2 years ago, and then I had both my hips replaced. Not at the same time, but two
Right.
months apart. And matter of fact, when my doctor found out that I had to have my hips done, he goes, do you think we shouldn't have done the back? I'm like, you went to school for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tell me.
Yeah.
Man.
You're asking me what
Yes.
you're the one that put the screws and the bolts and
Right.
all the goop and whatever to hold it together. And then you say, should we do? Yeah, we should have. Can't go through the airport now.
That whole you go from feeling invincible to everything you deal with now. It's to the point now when I'm in a hotel and I go to take a shower. It's like, do they have one of those little suction cup mats? 'Cause I don't want to slip.
Yes.
Yeah. Your foot slips about 2 inches. You're like, fuck, I'm gonna die.
And I did that before my back surgery, and I was going to Reno to go do shows, and I got in a tub. And dude, my first thought is, look, I really am having a hard time walking, but if I fall, they're going to have to come in. And housekeeping. I've fallen and I can't get up, which I used to think was a hilarious commercial. And now I'm just like, I don't want that to ever happen. So I'm standing in the tub, and I did the same thing you did. I went like this, and I shoved my feet up against both sides because I knew it's not going to go any further. And then I sat there in pain going, we're not washing my ass today. Okay.
I thought you said we, like you and the crazy voices.
Right.
Like, I've talked to the first crazy voice, and it feels that we shouldn't wash our ass today.
Yeah. Unless we're going to use one of those spare towels and
That's
just
right. That's right.
Floss your
floss
ass.
it, right? Which when you dry yourself, I don't know if you do this, but when you dry yourself off and you got to clean the crevice and stuff like that, do you ever look at which side has the tag? So you know if you've got to use that towel again. You don't wipe on this side
My
at all.
God, I don't think I've ever done that math.
See?
I do that shit with last.
Right?
And I use that towel again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you're like, why are we buying white? I don't, so that we know we're clean. That's how you.
Hey, but be leery of a place that has brown towels from now on. I will be now.
I've seen a couple spots where I went, I'm not sleeping there.
I was going to hope that story ended up with the maid has to call downstairs, and we found a guy on the ground. They're like, what'd you do? She's like, I started throwing rocks at him and poking him.
Right.
I told the other maid to help me flip this fucker over, and then he bit her. He bit the other maid.
If I would have probably thought about that, I would have done all three of these just like that. Yeah.
That's
There's a
hilarious.
Life Alert commercial came on the other day, and I was like, damn, maybe I should
I
take down
need
that
one of
number.
those, right?
Because it's like, I live in Fort Morgan. I'm single. All my family lives like at least 3 hours away. So it's like, man, if I don't go to work,
They won't find me for a week.
Like, I'll go out on the road to do site visits, so me not being at the office isn't a big deal.
Right.
It's like, maybe I should invest in one of those.
Right, yeah.
That's how sad my life has gotten.
I'm saying this about me, not you, but all of a sudden they don't find you for 5 days, and they go, well, you look like Todd, but you're a lot thinner. I know, if I wait here long enough, I can stand up by myself. Me and my 98 pounds, that might take longer than 2 weeks.
Where the cat starts eating you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about stuff like that, and I'm like,
man.
that would be a dead cat soon.
Well,
Start with my feet. I can't reach them now. Here, kitty.
they can't have your funeral for a while because they got sponge through cat shit to find the rest of you.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how we go on these classes. All right. What do you think about that one, Vogue?
That was good. That brought back some memories, man.
Jump in the van. You know what? It's crazy. You get kids who, because Travis, you're the other comic,
right?
Was talking about growing up in a small town too, right? Bigger city kids have a weird, different education than smaller town kids, right? I mean, they just with drugs and just whatever. But small town, you can always tell a small town kid by the stories they tell when they're younger, because it's always got to do with something damn near killing them. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how they have fun.
Like you're just amazed that they made it.
Yes,
and so are they.
If they're not in a wheelchair.
Right.
You're like, you were successful, but you were in a small town, so you're lucky not to be in a wheelchair because you should be paralyzed by now, for the dumb shit you do in life,
Well, it's like, I think you and I we were talking about your daughter wanting a helmet, right?
Yeah, the skateboard, the helmet for a
and
skateboard.
if you wanted a helmet when you was younger, you want a cheap one, so you get a Browns, because they've never won anything, right? And they also comes with a face mask.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ironic when you're a kid in a small town growing up, you can't wear a helmet. Because the parents will tell you it's because if you hit your head hard enough, it's going to mess you up. But yet when the kids kick the shit out of you and they punch you in the head 44 times for wearing a helmet, I mean, it's kind of it matches each other out, right?
Yeah. It's kind of a wash.
It's kind of a wash. So I don't think anybody wore a helmet when I was growing up.
I know none of my buddies did.
I worked with some adult, I call them kids, but adult autistic kids. Mm-hmm. And this one girl, she was pretty special needs. She had autism and couldn't see out of one eye, and I did do this a lot, trying to figure out which one it was.
You're shitty.
Right?
You're so shitty.
But then she told me when they had to go to the eye doctor, she's like, I'm like, really? I mean, she was really funny. But if she saw a special needs bus, she stood up and did, here's a handicapped person doing a handicap walk, making fun of another handicapped person. And I'll tell you what, I laughed so hard the day she was pointing and going, and I was like, what is she doing? Oh, she thinks she's normal. And so she's sitting there going, yeah. I'm like, holy cow, you guys are looking at me like I need.
No, I was sitting there thinking you said she thinks she's normal. That made me think, they don't know anything different.
No, they do. They think they're normal.
What they deal with on a day-to-day basis is normal for them.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of went deep there for a second.
Okay.
I wasn't confused. I was actually thinking about something.
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up because
he was going deep. I kept thinking this Todd Johnson's a fucking monster.
He is a creepy. Well, and you guys, I pulled the face that if you haven't seen, anyway, you'll come to the show.
If you were at the show, you would know.
Yeah, but I think you can find it on YouTube somewhere.
I didn't put that clip. I put one of your clips on the website, a very small one about having sex with a large woman. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The sound they make.
Yep.
That'd be the one. Yes. You know what I said? Hey, wait a second.
That's right.
It's funny until it hits a little too close to home.
What's funny is when I stand on stage and I do that joke and people laugh and then they will elbow each other and point and I'm like, oh, you got okay. See, everybody knows.
You guys been naked. You guys been naked together. Okay, we got you.
One of you guys needs to wear a shirt next time.
Or invest in some flour.
Right? Hey, not that one. Okay.
Yeah. Oil it up, sister.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess that'd make it worse now, wouldn't it? I did the math in my
It
head.
makes a different sound,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I got the point. It's okay. All right. We had 2 great stories. Jump in a van, bear bitten, and the third one, Robin Williams.
So this one's, I seen something last night about the dark comedy, which is on, I think it's on Vice. Anyway, and it talked about Robin Williams passing away. Well, I met Robin Williams 2 weeks before he passed away. And I was doing a club down real close to San Francisco, right near his house. I knew he worked there, and I'd met several different people working there. I also know who works at that club, and there's some pretty high-end people that work there. But I got in there, and I was really happy about doing it. I'd met Danny Carvey, and I'd met a couple other people. Well, I'm sitting in the green room, and this guy walks in, and he's just kind of a little guy. Well, compared to me, he's just kind of a little guy. And I can see his back, and I'm seeing his arms going, that guy's, he's a hairy dude.
Part ape, yeah.
And then I just went, that's Robin Williams. And I knew he could come in, but I didn't know if he was in town or whatever else. Well, there was a guy that was military that had lost his leg, and he's a huge supporter of the military, which, by the way, I think it's Veterans Day right now.
Right.
And thanks for everybody's service. I think, did both of you guys serve? Or
No.
Yeah, I
tried. I was too fat. I got rejected by every branch of the military. I tried them all.
Did you?
I did. I wanted to go to. I still would love to go to the military. That's something I've always wanted and just never have been able to get in.
I've always respected everybody that's gone.
Absolutely.
And so for all those out there, thanks for the service. But so Robin was a huge supporter. He came down to see this guy. Guy who hadn't been doing comedy maybe 3-4 years, but he'd lost his one leg. And here's one of the funny parts with Robin, is even if he wasn't on the top of his game, he was still quick.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So this guy had a golden lab in one of those fold-up things where you can just, like, what are they called, where you can put your dog and zip it up and
Kennels?
Like a kennel?
yeah, a little kennel. And so he goes, have you got a dog in there? He goes, yeah. He goes, is it, one to help with you? And he goes, yeah. One of the other comics who was running it, the show, he goes, oh, we've got a friend of ours that she's got a dog that helps her. So, like, when she falls asleep and she starts to choke on her tongue, that dog will wake her up. And that quick, Robin goes, a Heimlich Retriever? I was like, and I pride myself on being pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I just went,
Wow.
that was amazing.
Right.
How fast that was.
Right.
Well, we kind of, what happened was he met everybody, but somebody sidetracked him, and then he come around the other way and forgot me. And I'm like, you can't miss me unless I'm in a redwood forest. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes, oh, sorry, and he started talking to me. And anyway, it's an old theater. You walk out the side door, you walk down this thing which has got the fence outside, and you go upstairs and to the stage. And I have you guys will see it 2 weeks later if you search for it. I don't think I have one just directly of that.
Right.
But I have a bit where I talk about getting a haircut, and it makes me look like I have Down syndrome. I can pull the faces, and it's just, don't look at me like you're looking at me like I can see it right there.
I'm just trying to be a good listener.
No,
Todd.
you're being a good listener, but you're like, I see, there it is right there.
That's what's going on.
So somebody else had told him about it, and I said, look, you don't have to come watch my set or stuff like that, because I get it with comics. Sometimes you don't want to watch other people, you get bored or whatever you do. And he goes, no, I'll come watch. And I made a comment. I'm like, I'm not trying to sound arrogant or anything, but two things when I do this. I'm going to get on there, and when I do it, you're going to see a whole bunch of people stop and then burst out laughing, and it'll destroy this whole freaking room, except for maybe 5%. We're just go, no, you shouldn't do that at all. Second, you're going to see a whole bunch of women that don't want anything to do with me at all. So it kind of limits the field. He goes, okay. Well, he's standing in the back on stage. I go on stage. I'm supposed to do 15 minutes. And this is when I realized I had 3 voices in my head. And I didn't really know it at the time. But I'm doing the first 3 jokes, which I've done for a long time. And I realized that this guy goes on autopilot, and the 2 voices in my head start arguing. Why are you nervous? Well, the comic behind us is the best comic in the world. And this one's like, yeah, that's why you should be doing your best stuff. And we probably should get up front so that guy doesn't screw it up for us because he's done it before. And it was just kind of like, and I went, oh, yeah, I do have. Do I have multiple personality? Apparently they all got together today. Anyway, I do the deal and close the show, and audience is laughing, and I come off stage, and Robin is laughing so hard still. He goes, I haven't laughed that hard in months. Thank you. And I went, if I can make you laugh once out of all the times you've made me laugh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
he just goes, thanks. And then we ended up taking pictures later, and I ended up taking a picture one time with a professional basketball player.
Yeah.
And my nephews was huge fans of him. And then when I went to go take a picture, here's this guy that's 6'9", and I'm not. And it just looked like 2 creepy guys standing there going, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Have you had a prostate exam? I'm down here. I can help you. And after that, I just realized, look, unless I know somebody, I'm not going to really take a picture with somebody famous. Well, Robin took pictures with everybody else, and then he walked over and he goes, did you want a picture? And I went, yeah, I do. I just didn't know if you wanted a picture with me. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm holier than thou, but I seriously just thought. So we took a couple pictures, and they're really cool, and I treasure them for it. But then I looked at him and I went, do you want me to do the face? And he goes, sure. So I have a couple pictures of me pulling that, and the camera is directly. Have you ever heard this, Travis? No. Yeah. But I just kind of went. And if you look at Robin's face, I don't show him to hardly anybody, but if you look at him, it's kind of like, is he done? Holy shit.
Please don't let this picture get out.
Yeah,
Please
don't post this on Facebook. Hi, I hope I'm being nice.
Yeah.
Hi. He's got needs, special, whatever, crazy needs. But 2 weeks later, I found out that he had passed away.
Right.
And I talked to him right before he left. I says, and you know, Travis, if you watch Travis's, which you should watch Travis's, his is before me. There is some people out there that are really good people that are comics or actors or whoever, just people in general. And then there's some other people that you go, I hope I never run into you ever again. And I told him, I says, I'm really glad you're a good person, because if you weren't, I wouldn't have wanted anything to do with you. He goes, so if I came in here being an asshole, you wouldn't want anything to do with me? I said, no. He goes, I'm glad I was on my best behavior. I mean, he was just always kind of quick and clever. And I told him, I said, I hope I get a chance to see you again. He goes, yeah, you can guarantee it. And that's here and there. Yeah. But I will tell you, talk about a sweet, sweet man. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have nothing bad. I know everybody's got their history and everything else like that, but from what I know, he was fantastic. You know, these are some of my favorite stories when they talk about a celebrity who's not a dick. Right. Who's a genuine person. Those are great stories, man. It's they say never meet your heroes. Right. Because they'll disappoint you. I know my hero I wouldn't want to meet because I hear he's a world-class asshole. You know? Right. Michael Jordan. I hear he's a dick. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I idolized him growing up in Dangerfield, obviously, as you see the Dangerfield stuff. Right. And that ship has sailed, obviously. But that's cool. That's a great story that you got to meet him. He was like that, you know? I did a bunch of research after finding stories about him, and it was like he used to love to ride bicycles, and not the little or anything like that, but he'd go out there on the racing bikes, right. And he bought one from a guy that owned the store, and he goes, "Are you gonna come ride with me?" He goes, "I can't afford a bike like that," and Robin bought another one. And he just figured, well, he'll have one in case he wrecks it. And he goes, now you do. Wow. And that's I was awesome. Like, And then the other story, and there's stories galore. Apparently there was a family that had lost their grandfather and grandmother because Grandpa went nuts and shot Grandma and then shot himself. So here these guys have to go and deal with that. And as soon as they were done with and this was in San Francisco, as soon as they were done with the funeral and everything else, they stopped at a donut place, and it was late at night, and they just thought, well, we'll just stop here and grab anything. And they noticed there was a guy in that place. Didn't know who he was. This guy walks up, started talking to him. Sounds like you guys had a rough day. And just started talking about others. He had them laughing so hard that they forgot about all their crap.
Yeah.
You guys have a good night. And he left. And the dad, 2 weeks later, was looking in the newspaper in San Francisco, and Robin Williams, they had put a picture of him, and they went, that's the guy. That's the one that came and made us laugh. And he said, I hope I get a chance to meet him one day and tell him how much I appreciate this. And then he had passed away, but he made sure that he had that posted in the newspaper and stuff like that. So it's stories like that I go, yeah. I mean, there are some assholes that are out there.
Right.
But there are some super people out there that.
And it's crazy. So I read Robin. I read his book. His biography was a great book. Chris Farley, same thing. People who are deeply broken, you don't see it.
Right.
Are sometimes the most compassionate, the most generous. Chris Farley was amazing.
Right.
Have you ever read his book?
I have not.
At his funeral, there's the who's who of Hollywood there, the Saturday Night Live cast. I mean,
right.
And there was a homeless man he wanted to speak, and he was telling a story about how Chris Farley would stop by and check on him almost every day on his way to work, and nobody knew it. Chris Farley didn't go to work and brag about it. It wasn't an Instagram thing where he took a picture of it. Hey, look at me helping out,
Right.
It was because he was a genuinely good person. His heart was in the right place,
Yeah.
And it sounds like Robin Williams the same way. That's a great story, man.
Well, it's those things that when you hear about them later and you go, they don't have to speak out. They just do it.
Yeah.
And, so. Anyway.
That's cool, man. That's cool. If that's a lie, Todd, we're going to stab you in the heart. Okay,
but it'll be after the show tonight.
Yeah, we need you tonight.
We need you for a few more hours.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Travis, can you do an hour and a half?
It ain't great. Trust me, it ain't great.
If he can do an hour, maybe me and him could cobble together 20 minutes combined.
Hey, Adam, tell him about the story about Todd, what we did to him.
Right.
You knocked him down. I threw rocks at him and poked him until he got back up.
He got bit by a bear, but then we did the same thing to him. So payback sucks.
This morning he got bit by a moose. It all works out in the end. So.
I know you told me before, and maybe everybody else doesn't know, but why do they call you Moose?
Moose was it was Moosey as a child. When I was born, I was just a huge. I was big. I was a big baby.
Had antlers.
And yeah, that's exactly right. Little horns I used to shave down like Hellboy. And my uncle was like, "Holy shit, he's a moose!" And it just caught on.
Okay.
So I get away from it nowadays. A lot of people still call me Moose, but I'll always know an old family members or my mom's friends when I was a kid because they still call me Moosey.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's when I was younger. I used to hate it, but then I just embraced it at one point in time.
Right.
When I started comedy, it's Moose Lundstrom Stanibetics. I hate the name Larry. I fucking despise the name Larry. It's a horrible name.
Do you have brothers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it Daryl and Daryl?
No.
I only said that just to make him laugh.
But guys named Larry, I super hate that joke.
No, I figured they did.
I killed them and ate them. That's what I tell people.
You cannot tell that to people, the millennials, at all.
Oh, they don't.
Huh?
Do you know something about him?
Yeah, Bob Newhart.
Yeah. I'm Larry. My brother Daryl. My older brother Daryl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, what do you think, man?
That's a great story.
We are stabbing him, though. That's bullshit, right?
Yeah. I'll block the stairs. There's a broom handle right there.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know where that's going. I already had one of those, but it was more of a hose.
Downtown. All right. So, 3 great stories. Jumping a fan, Robin Williams, and Bear Bitten. Todd, we got to do rock, paper, scissors to see which one of us has to guess first.
You guys do your scissoring thing.
All right. How do you do rock, paper, scissors?
I generally just go, here, you go first.
You don't do rock, paper,
No,
scissors?
I do. Yeah, I do 3. You like to. Why are you fisting 4 times? That didn't sound right.
Because that's what she asked me to do.
Well,
it's rock, paper, scissors, and then you throw whatever. You cover all 3 bases, and then you go.
See, you don't.
Your guys, it's just rock, paper, and then you go on the third one.
It's ready, set, go. Down, set, hut.
Yeah, and then you go after
paper,
that.
scissors.
You don't go on hut. You go down, set, hut, and then you go.
Down, set, hut. And they're going on hut, dude.
How many times have you been divorced?
Once. Engaged 4 times. Divorced once.
Well, you know what? Sounds
Engaged
like
to the same woman twice.
you make bad decisions, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, we're going 3 pumps.
Well, it
Ready?
sounds like out of 4, then you won. Is what I know. It probably is a little bit safe.
I only paid child support to one of them, so.
See, exactly.
3 pumps, ready?
Yep.
There's been a few
This
times
one's going to take for a while.
We've went like 13 or 14 in a row.
Wow.
One time. Yeah, it's we do this
You
every
guys
week.
have stamina.
I wouldn't say that.
No, we don't. That's
counting
why
our-
he only wants to go 3 pumps.
That's right. Can't be mad at the truth now, can you? I get the.
Yeah,
I'm done. Yeah.
Gotta learn to put your thumb over the end.
That's right. All right. Jumping a van, Robin Williams, and Bear Bitten. What do you think, Vogue?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not often I beat him twice in a day. It's very
Wow,
unusual.
that
Yeah.
just really turned horrible.
Yeah.
So, I really want the Robin Williams one to be true. I'm thinking jump in a van, that one's true too. I did the same shit when I was a kid in my pickup. The Bear Bitten, even though you do have scars and shit on your arm, we got beat one time by Ernie because he told this story about fucking his finger up bowling, and his finger was all fucked up. Well, it was his mom that fucked her finger up bowling. It wasn't even his story. So I'm a little leery about those scars on your arm. So I'm going to
Mom's like this. It's,
his
yeah.
finger's like
Yeah.
all messed up. Anyway,
His mom has the shocker forever. You know? Yeah.
I'm going to go with Bear Bitten, even if those are bear scars. I think there was just a lot of stuff in there that you could have changed, like the number of shots, just whatever. So I'm going to go with Bear Bitten.
All right, Bear Bitten, huh? I'm going to go with Robin Williams as being a true story as well, or we stab you. I think Bear Bitten's a true story. He's got a few
can you help me move this real quick?
But I think Bear Bitten's also a true story. You got little scars, and it seems to be a memory of yours. I think jumping a van, only because you said you did it multiple times. Have you ever seen a suspension in a van that size?
See, I was thinking the same thing.
I don't think it would. It wouldn't handle that. Or your buddy must have had mechanic repairs like a motherfucker to fix the suspension in the van because they're not built for that. You know,
Right, and that's something that did cross my mind.
Car suspensions are much the same, but I mean they're also lighter, so it's still going to mess your car up. You know, if you do that. So I'm going to go with jumping a van. You're going to go with Bear Bitten. Before you flip that over, I do want to say thank you to the Brush Emporium. Thanks for giving us a space down here to have our podcast, to have a kind of a home. Before this, Todd, we used to have to set this up and break it down after every podcast.
Wow.
It was crazy. They stepped in, gave us a place, and we kind of pumped their stuff too because this is a great place. Did you kind of look around upstairs?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, it's cool. It's got a lot of stuff, homemade stuff, a lot of hobbies and stuff that people do. If you're looking for a great Christmas gift, man, come down to the Brush Emporium. They have a lot of unique stuff to have as gifts.
We have something like this in my hometown, and it's great for people just to be able to put stuff out.
And Adam has said it over and over. I didn't know there's that many people in this area that does stuff like this.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I would have had no idea if it hadn't been for them.
Right.
arts and crafts and kind of cool stuff. So come down and do some shopping. It's also got a big area to eat in, along with board games, chess play, all the kind of stuff for the family. You have kids, bring them down here, feed them some pizza, let them play old school board games. You know, get them
Right.
off that tablet, get them off that phone for a while. Let them play old school board games. It's good for them, right? It's family fun, a very family friendly place to have. And the pizza here is kick ass. You just had the pizza. What'd you think?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Pizza's good. The wings are excellent here. They're really good. They have all kinds of stuff: ice cream, frozen yogurt,
Pretzels.
funnel cakes, and pastas. They
We
do-
actually had ice cream before the pizza because
What kind do you have?
huckleberry.
Ooh, we can't beat that.
And the best part about that is you always do dessert first because life's very short.
Yeah, you're damn right it is. So, 210 Clayton Street. If you haven't checked out the Brush Emporium, what the hell are you doing, man? Come down, check them out, show them some love. It's owned by local people who care about this town. That's why they built something like this to give back to the community. So,
And then if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a subscribe button down there in the corner. Click that button. It's a small click for you, a huge click for us.
It's a huge click for us, man. No matter where you're listening to this on, what platform you're listening to it on, leave a rating and review, man. It's appreciated. And share this online on your social media, man. Let your friends know if you enjoy this, right? It's all for fun. We have a good time doing it, but we have some pretty good guests on here to tell some crazy stories, and I really enjoy it.
Make a guess. Right. Put it in the comments.
And especially if you enjoy Todd Johnson, because if it's that Robin Williams story, this is the last time you're going to see him. So.
That's right. The next thing you guys are going to see is like a casket. And
I pray that it's not Robin Williams, and that somehow we don't know Travis Tate is a serial killer and ends Todd Johnson's life on the way home. And they're like, they're bragging on the podcast about killing him like 5 or 6 times.
Right.
And Travis is all, the fat one came at me because that was being vague, so it could be one of us.
That's right. Todd killed himself?
He stabbed Todd and took the money out of his wallet. And threw $3.
And
then they threw rocks at him and poked him with a stick 4 or 5 times. They thought it was hilarious. I had no fucking idea why.
And they pushed the button on the life alert and ran away.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be fun to give away for like Christmas?
A life
alert. Somebody gets this and they're like, really? Really?
Mm-hmm. Because we're going to shut you down later, bud.
That's right. I also got you a card full of fentanyl. You betcha.
Give it to a drunk. Give it to your alcoholic uncle.
Right. Help somebody out.
When you fall down, Unc. It's fine. All right. So you're taking bear bit, and I'm taking jump in the van. Let's see your board, man.
Can I erase this?
No.
I'm just kidding.
You're killing me.
It was bear bitten.
Bear bitten. Wait, what did I pick? Yeah, I picked.
So,
you picked jump in the van.
So here's what I will tell you about both of them is. Bear bitten, my cousin did shoot that bear. I wasn't with him, but he did, and everything I said until it bit him, this is from something else.
A taser? Does the girl have any mace on her? It's fine.
Yeah. So it took him a while to go check on that bear, but everything to the point of getting bit was true, and it was a 30-06. And the thing with the van, yes. So you know where the shocks come down, and we actually had it's like 2 round pieces that are about that thick. The shock goes right between it.
Yeah.
It folded completely around.
Okay.
It was his dad's van, and his dad was an asshole. And you should have seen us trying to bend those pieces back, and no go. Neither of us knew how to run a torch or anything else. So when I talked to my other buddy, he said they did it twice. Once was in that van again. And then once was in a car. And I went, you did that in a car? He goes, oh, yeah, you could have walked underneath the car. I'm like, I'm glad we were in the van because I had comfortable seats.
I was going to say that van, the suspension, man.
Oh, yeah, no, after that, he sold the van.
And
I don't know what happened under here, but.
He thought you were jumping it, goddammit.
Right.
The third one this week. And I'm happy to say Robin Williams is a true story.
It is.
That's a cool memory, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to have that one.
That's
it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Can't happen. Well, with him, it can't happen now. But
Right.
But it's cool to have those.
But to have him as a comic icon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Weapons of Self-Destruction is one of my favorite comedy comedy shows of all time, man. That special was. You know what I'm talking about? That's the one where he talks about golf, right? The invention of golf.
That is so damn funny and so true.
Fuck no. 18 holes. I mean.
So you do this once and then you go home. Fuck no. We use a stick. Like a crooked stick.
Yeah. It's such a brilliant bit.
It's an amazingly brilliant bit, like I said. But the whole that Weapons of Self-Destruction, I can watch it. It's one of my favorite specials of all time, man. So such a talented man.
Yeah.
Such a talented man too. Far gone way too Quinn, man. So anyway, bro, Todd, where can they find you online? How do they book you?
If you want to look on my website, you can't because I didn't pay the bill. So I am on Facebook, which is Todd Johnson Comic. I'm on Instagram. I think it's the same thing, and Twitter. I think I just look on there because I post some stuff. I'm on TikTok, and I'm gonna start doing more. Apparently, you need to do more social media because otherwise people go, who?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how funny you are. You almost need to go, hi, and just be there all the time.
Yeah, put your stuff out there.
So,
well, we'll put some of your links in the description below. So
trying to get some money to fill this in.
Why?
No reason.
They're nice.
I had a little kid walk up to me in a Sportsman's Warehouse, run into me, look up at me, and goes, "I lost a tooth once." And his mom looks at me, looks at him, brain dusters, and go, "Sorry," and then walked off. And I went, "You little shit."
You know, you should have kick him in the mouth. Be like, "No, you lost a tooth twice."
Right?
Fuck you.
I was standing right by the rope. I was looking for floss, whatever.
Anyway, Todd, thanks so much for coming on.
No,
bro.
I'm glad you for this, and also show will be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time
It'll be a lot
tonight.
of fun.
I'm excited. So, anyway, I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Adam Goki.
Hey, till next time. Peace.
Pieces.